Hello. Okay, so I got another spread off of Pinterest that I have been really enjoying. And it's kind of simple, so I'll try to put this in here. It's The Purpose of Today from emeraldlotusdivination.com, which they have a whole bunch of really good stuff. Every time I see one that I'm like, wow, I really like that, it's from them. So we're going to try that. I've done it a couple times. I really like it. So we have the Dreamkeepers Tarot, Fountain Tarot, Muse Tarot, and the Naked Heart Tarot, which I also made these little watercolor squares and quite a while ago. So I'm like, oh, this would be perfect to use them for this. So there will be timestamps down below if any of them are calling to you, and I will see you then. If you picked the Dreamkeepers Tarot and this little painting, then this reading is for you. Okay, so we'll do, I think it's six cards. I've kind of gotten to the point I shuffle that barely any jump out. So I'll just kind of sometimes like to spread them out. So we will do the purpose of today. What can you do to embrace your lesson today? Oh. Wonder if that should be extra or with this one. I think it's going to go with this one. How can you make the most of your day? And we've got something you should try today. How can you express yourself today? And the last one is a message from Spirit to keep with you today. We may pull an oracle or two to kind of add on. Hopefully there's enough room. I might have to bring that up a little bit. Okay, so the purpose of today. What can you do to embrace your lesson for today? We've got two, so all right. How can you make the most of your day? Something you should try today. How can you express yourself? And a message from Spirit or from any higher deity. Okay, so we got let me look at all these real quick. I guess there's some maybe a little bit of a rough patch. So we've got the Five of Cups for the purpose of today. So of course with this one, it's all about kind of, in a lesser term, crying over spilt milk. That's been said. I like to shuffle when I talk multiple times. So the one thing about this is kind of understanding that, you know, these are gone and that's it, but you have something that remains. So kind of the message of this card is to really appreciate the things that you do have and not concentrate on what you don't. And that's such a big deal because you don't want you don't want to get to the point where you've concentrated on what you don't have or what you lost or what you can't get back, and then get to a point where what you did have is gone also. It could always be worse. And, you know, crying over spilled milk, that's kind of sometimes an insensitive way to look at it. I'm sure in retrospection, though, a lot of people would feel that way. But yeah, so that's kind of, I guess the purpose of today is really appreciating what you do have and kind of not worrying about the things that you don't have anymore. So then we go to what you can do to embrace your lesson for today. And it's very interesting. We got the Three of Swords along with Judgment. So what can you do to embrace your lesson for today? So if the lesson is paying more attention to the things that you do have, and we've got some maybe heartache or deception or just feeling like crap. And the Judgment card that came with it. So the Judgment's all that's so dark. I just got this deck not that long ago. So Judgment card's all about a rebirth or reawakening, coming to terms with things that have happened. It could be, I could see it in a couple different ways of, you know, maybe this is something that you're putting on people, but I don't think we would find that in that spot. It could be more of like a situation, and you're not going to reach it's so dark for the message I want to say. You're not going to reach that point of rebirth or rejuvenation if you're holding on to these. I mean, look at her. She's just kind of flying off from all this death and decay, you know, flying away from, I'll put it that way. She's just kind of flying away from everything that's going on in this card, you know, with entrails in hand. You know, maybe this is her broken heart, and she's like, oh, I'll just take it with and put it back together. No problem. No problem. So, as far as embracing your message for today, obviously, that rebirth and that rejuvenation, coming to terms with things is the best way to kind of embrace this loss or upset that's going on. So I'll move on real quick to how can you make the most of your day. So we've got the Four of Wands, and this is a nice card. So this is more about, I don't know what that is. The fours are stable, and we've got kind of things that you've been working on have finally worked out for you. So now we've got the stability of the Four. All of your actions that you took in the first series of cards is finally at a point where you can kind of chillax and enjoy it and live off that foundation right now. So how can you make the most of your day is enjoying the things that you already have, the things you've already built. So if you're working, I guess if you're working on something right now or trying to manifest something or build something, and I guess you're probably very concentrated on the stuff that you haven't got done yet, the stuff that you wanted to do, it's not done. Maybe you feel a little deterred because you're just not where you want to be right now. But to make the best of your day is that, you know, that kind of emotional mindset is only going to slow you down even more. So the more you see what you do have and what you have done is really going to put you in a better mood to be more productive in whatever you're trying to work on. So that is definitely, that's going to make anyone's, hopefully you can see this, anyone's day better, is to kind of celebrate the things you have worked really hard on, celebrate the things that you already do have, you know. And then we have something you should try today, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles. So as far as celebrating things you've already done, the thing you should maybe try today is maybe take a break from certain things. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles about looking back at things you've already done, reassessing what you've already done, kind of taking that moment to make sure all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed, so to speak. You know, in this, she's accomplished quite a bit, and things, now is the time to kind of look back to make sure everything's kind of exactly how you want it to be. And that kind of ties in with all of this is, you know, maybe you could enjoy that celebratory aspect of everything being stable and appreciate everything being stable and appreciate what you do have by kind of looking back and reassessing everything, making sure that everything is actually stable, because we don't want a tower moment, because then we'll definitely be back here, and then we'll have all 5 cups. All 5 cups will be gone. So these are your 2 cups left, you know, and you can get these back in a sense, maybe even better. Sometimes when things happen, you know, it seems really bad, but just like, I'm not a doctor, but, you know, like with our bones, you know, they break, but they grow back stronger. So I've heard. I've not broken any bones, you know. So that's something you should try today. If you're really kind of having all this stuff in the back of your mind, which is kind of like burdening, reassessing everything would be a great idea. Maybe you're the type of person that, you know, it's one and done. That's it. And I can see that the stress of it is you just not feeling that way right now. So don't worry. Be happy with what's done and kind of reassess things. Reassess whatever project. Maybe you haven't even started anything yet and you're wanting to. I mean, this is a good indication to go along with that. So we'll move on to how you can express yourself today, which is great. We've got the 10 of Cups, just full emotional fulfillment, right? This definitely a different character than this and a different character than this. She's got a good head on her shoulders. So expressing yourself today, you know, just kind of put all this, I think once you do the reevaluation and kind of look at things and reassess everything, you know, it's a good time to kind of celebrate. Like with these guys, just you should celebrate. I mean, honestly, if as human beings, if we have anything that's more than having nothing, I think we kind of forget that sometimes, or a lot of times, especially with the Amazon and 2-day shipping. Yeah, I forget that all the time. So, you know, just celebrate, you know, maybe reach out to some friends or family, you know, kind of distract yourself for a minute, you know, with this reevaluating. You know, sometimes taking a step away is the best thing you can do for a minute. Sometimes talking to people can kind of spark something in your mind, and then everything seems clear, even getting advice. So that is how you should express yourself today, is full emotional fulfillment. And, you know, fake it till you make it. And there's many ways to do this. I don't know. Kind of take a moment, do like a hobby or something fun, just to get your mind off of it. So for our message from Spirit or whatever higher entity you believe in, we've got the 7 of Wands. Okay, so there's a couple ways I could interpret this. Trying to see, because I don't do reversals. So sometimes in advice, I kind of go to the shadow side, but I almost feel like you can kind of do this both ways. So some advice is to not be so defensive, not be so on guard, not be so, I don't know. We're starting out at this point, and this is what we're working on. So if there's other people involved, I would say you can still defend your situation, because I know, you know, especially when we work on projects or things that other people can't understand, they kind of say, oh, that's a waste of time, or you really shouldn't be doing that. So I would say, especially with this reassessing, is do be defensive, but don't make sure your arsenal is full of proper ways of defending yourself, like, which anyway is proper, but just make sure you choose your words wisely. Don't start any drama or anything, but do stand up for yourself, and do it in a way that you have the foundation to stand on. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when people sit there and say, well, yeah, it's really good, you don't understand, people just kind of shut off, unfortunately. People don't want to listen, because sometimes when you have a more academic way of kind of defending yourself, people listen a little bit more, mainly because you sound like you know more than they do. And that helps. I'm not saying to be a smart aleck, but just defend it in a way that you really show that it's something that's important to you, whatever you're working on. This is a lot of stuff for one day. I'm kind of wondering what's going on in your life right now. This is definitely a little more deep than mine. So I don't know if you're still working, or you're having to be quarantined with family or friends. I don't know. So you kind of got whatever day you chose to watch this on. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit of a crazy day, and maybe not so much. It might be just little things. Maybe someone's just kind of like pecking at you, and you're just like, hey, listen here, I got something to tell you. But overall, I think having a positive outlook on today is really going to help you, and kind of, I wouldn't say ignore, but let's get out of this. The way to get out of this is just to look at your surroundings, maybe journal a little bit, list out some things that you can't live without, that you already have, obviously. I mean, there's plenty of things I can't live without that I don't even have, so. So that's my advice for that. And then maybe we'll pull one more card of advice. Message in a bottle. So this is kind of about paying attention to signs, and this could mean that you're going to get a message. This might be your message, and it's kind of saying in this one that you're on the right track. If this message is able to get to you, you're on the right track, and second guessing yourself is you don't need to. And that's kind of back to this card about kind of standing up for what you believe in, or yeah, I wonder what's going on. Hopefully this resonates with somebody, because this sounds like I think this is more than just your day. It's a little intense, but maybe that's your message. You're on the right track, you're doing fine, reassess, build your solid foundation, and enjoy it, and come at things with a positive attitude. For one thing, you'd be more productive that way, and you're not going to ruffle any feathers when you have to explain things to people. Sometimes a simple question doesn't mean they're trying to attack you. Even, and I can understand that sometimes it does feel that way when people just don't quite understand, but don't worry, it's all good. So hopefully that resonated with you, and if it didn't, you can pick another card, or let me know down below if it didn't, and if it did, let me know down below. And hopefully you're taking care of yourself, and thanks for watching. If you picked the Fountain Tarot and this little painting, then this reading is for you. So it's kind of like a 6-card spread, and we will do an oracle at the end. Okay, so the first one is the purpose of today. I don't feel like, not that one. What you can do to embrace the wisdom of today. How can you make the most of today? Something you should try today. How you can express yourself today. And a message from Spirit to keep with you today. Or whatever deity you believe in. Or just general advice. Okay, so purpose of today. What you can do to embrace the lesson of today. How can you make the most of today? Something you should try today. I know I'm repeating. It's like a broken record. How you can express yourself and a message. All right, so we got some swords, cups, wands, the whole shebang. So hopefully you can see these. So let's see. The purpose of today, we got the King of Wands. So you may be a busybody. You might have a lot of stuff going on today. And I think you're going to do just fine. Maybe you feel like there's a little too much on your plate, but you're going to have everything set in place. Yeah, so the King of Wands is kind of the more responsible card of the Wands suit. He's active without being impulsive. He or she. It can be either one. And, you know, it's just kind of the king of getting things done actively. So, what you can do to embrace your lesson for today. So we've got the Knight of Cups. So, kind of a, not too much, just a little bit of a contradiction with the King of Wands. We've got a lot of, or they can work together. More of the very dominant, active, and then you've got the Knight of Cups who's very, he's still very active, but just more emotionally. So embracing your lesson for today, I would say to take it full-heartedly. So take it to heart. So I'll go ahead and go to the next one. So we got the Six of Wands, which is kind of not exactly the best image for that card. So he looks a little overwhelmed. So Six of Wands is kind of like that victory card of recognition for things that you've done. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the King of Wands. And this is how you can make the most of your day. So everything that you're getting done with the King of Wands, I would accept the recognition for it. And kind of back with the Knight of Cups, kind of being the more active emotional aspect. You know, I would, like emotional as in friends and family. So I would say making the most of your day is kind of accepting some gratitude from other people, whether it be friends, family, strangers. Maybe you have a hard time doing that because you're kind of focused on things that you're doing. You don't really stop and understand that people are pretty proud of you for the most part. So making the most of your day is, you know, maybe even getting more people involved. Then something you should try today. Well, that's interesting. I got this in my last reading too. So what I'm getting from this, especially with the King of Wands and the Knight, so they're very active, and then you've got the victory card, the glory card, is maybe kind of release some emotional tension you have going on. You know, maybe, and you know, just like I said, this guy looks overwhelmed. So maybe you should kind of get into this mode so it's not exactly, I mean, it's kind of a card about loss and not paying attention to the things that you do have. But I think for this one, it's also a card about when this person is in this state, that the best thing to do is kind of let them have that moment. So I think for you, what I'm feeling and getting from this is just, you know, with all the stuff you're doing and the people, the recognition, everything, the victory, that maybe, I think something you should try is just kind of unwind and take that moment for just yourself. So maybe this is kind of talking about you're doing a lot with a lot of people involved. You kind of just need to take that moment to release some of that overwhelming feelings. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. I don't really get the sense of you're not appreciating what you do have. I really don't think you even know what you do or don't have because of how busy things kind of are right here. I don't feel like you're much of a materialistic person, so I'm not really getting the whole appreciation aspect, but I am getting that moment of silence to kind of you know, not grieve, even though this is kind of a grief card, but kind of just a moment to yourself to kind of unwind and let some of that energy kind of flow out, all the negative energy. I think you really need to do that for yourself. Relax. So, how can you express yourself today? So we got the 10 of Wands. So kind of what I'm getting from this is how you can express yourself today is, you know, once you take this moment, kind of maybe finish something that's not, that's kind of been on the back burner, something that you're almost done with. Maybe a project, or maybe you're supposed to, you know, hang out with that one friend or something. But I really feel like it's going to be something that's kind of almost finished, but you've been putting on the back burner, because we're almost there. We're pretty much at the end. It's also a good time to like reassess things too sometimes. If you want to express yourself today, I think you should just take that victory mentality and put it towards something that you've been working on. And then we have our message. So we got the Page of Swords. So kind of what I get from this is your message is like kind of back to this and all this stuff. So you're doing a lot of physically demanding things. You're not really, since it's how to embrace your day, you're not really putting much emotion or even thought into a lot of things. I'm getting a lot of lack of emotion and full physical activity. So, but the Page of Swords is kind of that youth that is like kind of thirsting for knowledge. It could also mean a message of some sort, but since this is the message, and that might be what this is talking about, like kind of your emotional and mental aspect. So maybe yours is like school related or communication related. So kind of back to this and having other people around is that, you know, maybe we need to work on our emotion and communication, especially with this 10 of Wands and this 5 of Cups. Like, you know, his back's kind of turned to all this, so maybe we need to refocus on something that's been put to the side, and it could be something not physical but something mental, like I said, about maybe school or even communication, maybe calling that friend or family member that's been, you know, you're like, oh, I'll get to it, and then you never do, which, you know, that's understandable. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that. So maybe we can pull maybe another advice card or oracle to kind of see what's going on, or what other assistance you can get. I kind of pulled that one, but I feel like 2 for this one. So that one feels right. No Place Like Home and Treasure Island. Okay, so these actually kind of go hand in hand. So we've got No Place Like Home and Treasure Island. So this one's kind of about, you know, a city home life, being somewhere where you feel comfortable and where you belong. And it might kind of tie into the victory card, people surrounding you, and maybe that's something, you know, maybe you should kind of appreciate some of the things that you do have. So, you know, making sure that the people you're surrounding yourself with is, you know, people that you care about and they care about you. And this is kind of talking about your, let's kind of want to switch these, your hard work. Let's just cover that one right now. So this is kind of about everything that, all the hard work that you've kind of put into what you're doing is really paying off, and kind of reminds us to make sure, you know, you share that with other people. So as far as like this communication card, I'm kind of getting it more as communication, maybe a little bit of intellectual with this one is something you need to work on. But, you know, maybe staying in touch with some of your family, your friends. I kind of keep saying that. I just kind of feel that way. You know, that's going to be important for you right now, I think, or for today. You know, you just got to pick up the phone. I know all this stuff's going on, and all of this is going to lead you to this, but don't forget about this, I guess I should say. Hopefully you can see that, the home. No place like home. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting from that. So hopefully that helps you in some way. You know, if it didn't resonate with you, let me know. And if it doesn't, let me know. You know, if you see something I don't, let me know whatever you want. So hopefully you're staying safe and everything, and thanks for watching. Okay, and if you picked the Muse Tarot and this little painting, then this is your reading. So we're gonna do like maybe 6 cards and an oracle to kind of figure out what the day is gonna bring. So far, I think I've overread something because they seemed really intense with the first 2. So let's kind of see. Okay, so the first one, we've got the purpose of today, what you can do to embrace your lesson for today, how you can make the most of your day, something you should try today, how you can express yourself today, and a message from Spirit to keep with you. Or if that's not what you believe in, then just a message. I need a more efficient way of doing that, because then I just say them all over again. Purpose of today. Embrace the lesson for today. Make the most of your day. Something you should try. And how can you express yourself and your message? Okay. So hopefully you can see those. All right, so the purpose of today, we've got the Ace of Voices, which would be the Ace of Swords. So with the Ace of Swords, we've got more of an opportunity for today, that you might be faced with an opportunity where things are just going to be clear, like that aha moment. So if you're working on something or doing something, or kind of stuck in a rut, I suppose, I think today is really going to be that day that everything's just kind of going to play out for you, and you're going to be like, oh yes, that's what I needed. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that for today. And then what can you do to embrace your lesson? We've got the Queen of Inspiration. So this is more of an like an active, outgoing kind of energy. So I guess as far as embracing your message for today or your lesson for today, if you're going to have that mental clarity, just take it and run with it. That's kind of what I get from that one. The Queen of Inspiration, or the Queen of Wands, is a very fiery person. So we've got these 2 together. So we've got the mental clarity and the action to back it up. So for number 3, how can you make the most of your day? So I guess what I would say with that, so, you know, death is kind of about death and rebirth, about growth, about transformation. So if you want to make the most of your day, I would say to, I also kind of attribute this with getting rid of things that are time consuming, that don't really benefit you in any way. And I'm not talking about like a hobby or something you like to do, or I don't know, journaling kind of. I mean, I like to journal, so journaling. That's not very active. That is very mental though. I'm not talking about those things. You know, just kind of those things that are outside of your regular hobbies, regular work. This can be people too. That kind of maybe kind of stop and reevaluate some of those extra things that you're doing, and kind of you know, cut them out. Which usually this is swords, but it's voices. So, and she's kind of turning her head from all that. So that's something I feel you can make the most of your day, is a little bit of a life spring cleaning. You know, and sometimes when you get rid of those things, you know, there's like a mourning period. I myself am a somewhat hoarder, so I definitely feel every aspect of this card when I get rid of or throw something away, which I usually don't throw away. I just have to pass it on. And that's something you could do too, you know, pass certain things on. Sometimes we outgrow things. We don't want to believe it or embrace it or accept it, but we do. So, you know, and that's only for physical things, but as far as like emotional or mental, you know, so embrace, to make the most of your day is to find some area of transformation, you know, especially when you have the aha moment and you run with it, you know, you want to have more time and room for that. So that's one way you can make the most of your day. And then something you should try. So we've got the Tower. So something you should try with the Tower, the way I kind of see this is kind of shaking things up. So it's kind of a card about your foundation was kind of unstable. So what I kind of get from this is going back to getting rid of things that aren't benefiting you, or getting rid of things that are kind of taking up that time that you don't really, it's just extra stuff. So shaking things up, you know, I mean, this chick looks kind of bad AF, you know what I mean? So I would say that you should be shaking the foundation, whatever foundation you think you had, shake it up a little bit, you know, take everything apart, put them back together. And that kind of goes along with this too. And you might even figure that out in your aha moment. And then we've got how you can express yourself today. Move. So, and this can kind of be different things. Like, she looks great, but she also looks like she is jogging. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I think is just to get out there and move. You know, maybe it's a good time to work on your physical self. You know, maybe there's some issues, or not issues, no one has issues, but maybe there's some things about your physical self that you want to work on. And, you know, today might be a good day to kind of start that. Maybe back to this card about getting rid of things that you don't need, or getting rid of things to make time for things that may be a little bit more important or something like that. I mean, getting out there and just moving, and it doesn't have to be exercise. It could be anything, you know. Maybe you already have a physical hobby that you've kind of been putting off doing other things. You should probably go back to that. And also, you know, how can you express yourself today? Well, you know, wear whatever you want. She's jogging and she's wearing heels. I mean, come on. Be you, boo, you know? That's so weird. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Okay, and then so our message from Spirit, or message in general, whatever you believe in, we got the Queen of Emotions. And that is the only cup I see, which we only have a few cards. So the Queen of Emotions is that very empathetic, very emotionally stable figure. So as far as your message, I really get go with the flow here. Maybe don't take things too seriously today. Maybe when something is bugging you, that you might have before taken 5, 10, 20 minutes out of your day. And back to this card, you know, like, okay, for example, if you're scrolling through the comments on YouTube and you see someone say something and it's like, oh, I usually don't say anything, but I'm just going to say something, you know, and maybe you think about what you're going to say, you type it out, you delete it, you type it out, you delete it. I don't know why I'm getting that from this, but I think your advice for today is just move away from that. Just cut it out. You know, get in touch with other type of emotional aspects in your life. You know, the Queen of Emotions or Queen of Cups, very nurturing and supportive. And I mean, I don't know if you can see that nice beach in the back. That looks so relaxing. So I guess another thing I can get from this is definitely do some self-care. And that could be another, and that kind of goes in with kind of these things, is self-care is very important for anybody. But I guess for you today, especially, because that's exactly what I'm kind of getting from that. And exactly where I would want to be. So let's just pull another card, maybe for some more advice, some insights. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. I swear it's the chair. Okay, so nice. I gotta rummage through these a couple times. Yep. Right there. And we have poised. So this is kind of talking about being kind of comfortable in your own skin, being confident. And that kind of goes back to what I said about maybe working on your, if you have any physical things or a physical hobby, to, and even running errands, you know, sometimes running errands, getting things done, looking good while you do it, you know. I know there's not very many places we can go right now, so I don't know, never mind, order online. But also back to that kind of like that self-care, you know, if you feel comfortable in your own skin, then you're more confident, you feel better. So kind of that's going back to that self-care, and maybe, you know, as far as emotions, maybe having a good emotional outlook on yourself. And maybe that's some other stuff we need to cut out. Also, you know, get, and that could be the message for this, is kind of get rid of that old mentality, and then embrace the new, you know, express yourself. So you know, and that's actually kind of what I'm getting a little bit more right now too, is that maybe you're not expressing yourself. Maybe that's the aha moment that you feel like you have to be a certain way. And that's not really benefiting you. So maybe today just kind of step out of that comfort zone, you know, shake the foundation of, actually, yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting from that, is, you know, you've kind of built this, way for yourself, and that's not just maybe not exactly how you want to present yourself. So maybe today is the day, you know, you shake things up and you express yourself and be you. I kind of get that. We got that with the self-care and feeling confident, you know. Yeah, that's really just what I'm getting. So, okay, so if that resonated with you, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. If you see something I don't, let me know, whatever you want to let me know. But I mean, if anything, hopefully that helped you in some way. So take care, and thanks for watching. If you picked the Naked Heart Tarot with this little drawing, painting, then this reading's for you. I don't know, the tape took that off. Okay, so we're going to do about maybe 6 cards and an oracle to kind of see the purpose of today, or whatever day you click on this, it doesn't matter. There's 4 options, so, you know. And these cards do not spread very well. So we're going to do the purpose of today. I'm just going to go ahead and turn these over. Purpose of today. What can you do to embrace the lesson of today? How can you make the most of today? Something you should try today. How you can express yourself today. And a message from, key card in here, from Spirit, or just a message, depending on what you believe in. Okay. All right. That's my chair. I'm so sorry if it sounds like it's not. Okay. So we'll look at these. So the Page of Cups. So the purpose of today, what I would think is kind of embracing some, maybe getting more in tune with your emotions, maybe purging from some negativity, or, you know, maybe you've been around a lot of negativity and now is a good time to just take a moment, or now is a good day to take a moment and kind of just unwind from all of those, you know. You could also, I mentioned journaling a lot. I don't know why I keep getting journaling. Kind of write down positive things or have positive affirmations. That's kind of what I'm getting from that one. So what you can do to embrace the lesson for today, I guess, shine bright. So to embrace your lesson for today, so the star is kind of, one thing about the star is it comes after the Tower. So the Tower is kind of like, you know, your foundation you thought was solid just completely crumbled underneath you. And the star kind of reminds us that things are going to be fine. You're going to rebuild. It's definitely fully rejuvenation, the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So what you can do to kind of embrace the lesson for today is maybe just kind of, same with this, kind of let go of some of that emotional baggage that you might be carrying around. I think that would be beneficial. Yeah, that's kind of what I get from that one. We'll move on real quick to how you can make the most of your day. So every time I see this card so much, I don't even know why. So every time I see that card, if you're going to make the most of your day, I always think of it, especially in something like this, that, you know, use the resources that you have. Get creative. You know, we got a little bit of creativity. You know, it could also mean to kind of reevaluate your health, finances. It doesn't seem like that in this card, but most of them there is more than one person. So kind of reaching out and asking for help, reaching out and kind of having that camaraderie with people around you, you know. That's kind of what I'm getting for that. I'll move on to the next one real quick about something you should try. So we got the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is kind of that celebration after accomplishing something, like a small one, like the first one. So something you should try is to probably, I kind of feel like giving yourself a pat on the back about another thing, especially I guess when I was getting from this about the whole camaraderie thing, and this was also kind of a time to celebrate with the people around you. You know, we got the two flowers there, not just one, and there's also two people in this one. I haven't had this deck for very long, so I'm still in the more traditional imagery. But this one does have more than one flower. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that is, you know, especially if we're going to have rejuvenation and getting rid of emotional baggage, surrounding ourselves with people that care And maybe that's who you're going to release your baggage on is, you know, that person that's always, you know, that shoulder to cry on type of thing. So maybe that's who you're going to release it on, someone that is emotionally stable, that you can talk to, that gives good advice. And then kind of, you know, and usually when you have those conversations with those people, sorry, I think I got cut off there. So I think we were at the Four of Wands. So yeah, I think like I was saying, then you kind of talk about, I've lost my train of thought. Things from the past. Then you start talking about, you know, fun things and gets your mind off of all that stuff. So we got the Four of Pentacles. I actually already went through this. I didn't realize I got cut off. But the Four of Pentacles is, what I'm getting from this is you kind of already have everything. But I think you have room for more. Especially if you're holding on to things too tight. You know, it's not like you're having to lose anything. I think you need to add more. You got plenty of room to add more things, especially when we're talking about kind of asked you to have a little bit more fun, you know. That could be, and that's how you can express yourself today. So if this guy's not very expressive, so I think we want to try to get away from just that too groundedness. And then with your advice from Spirit, or just advice in general, whatever you believe in, we've got the Innocence of Wands, just kind of the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is very adventurous, very active. So I think that's great advice, because, you know, we kind of got the Pentacles kind of holding it down. And then when we come to the something you should try, and then your advice, it's all active things, you know. So I think that's kind of what, you know, you should be doing, is getting out there. You know, when you call that friend up, you know, you guys have that conversation, and then you know, you kind of unload, and then you chit chat about everything that's happened, reaching out, and then kind of add, you know, you got, you know, this little guy is going to keep adding to the pile. You know, you don't need to stop there. But in a good way, you know. And then the advice is just to be a little more adventurous, you know, kind of take not like bad risks, but, you know, good risks. Like maybe it'll be that friend that you called that you're just gonna, you know, hang out, or get out there and explore, which, well, be careful with with everything going on. Be careful where you're exploring, and do it at a safe distance. But that's kind of what I'm getting from that. So I'll kind of draw a card. And that flew out. So it's time to go. Sorry, I keep getting cut off. I think my memory was full. Anyway, I had drawn this card, which isn't very exciting now because you didn't see me draw it. But anyway, so this is interesting. It actually plays into these right here about the never-ending story. It's kind of about drama replaying itself, where your mind kind of in a replay of like, you know, drama or self-doubt, self-criticism, and things like that. So, you know, I guess it's especially now when you contact that friend or talk to someone, or even journal, which I said journaling like every reading now. Just, it's like you know, I think it's actually the theme of today, literally. So, you know, sure, when you need to release on whoever you need to release on, or even if you don't have anybody, release it and let's end the story. You know, and that kind of plays into the time to go too, even though at first I kind of attribute it to actively getting out there, which it could. You know, whatever's kind of weighing on your mind or pulling you down, you know, tell your story and then let it go. It's really not serving you. And that's actually what this time to go is talking about too, is that things that are just not serving you, not working for you, it's just time to, you know, cut the cord on that one. But I also kind of see that as, especially with this advice card about being a little more active. So maybe you're kind of just hurdled up and really thinking about things. We need to have a healthier emotional outlook, a healthier way of coping with things. You know, thinking about things over and over can be beneficial, especially when you, and that's why I guess, you know, I got at first with this talking to someone, because it really helps when you talk about it. You talk about it so much, you get kind of tired about talking about it. It almost has less meaning the more you put it out there. The more you get it out, the less you're like, you know, it loses its power, kind of. And sometimes it helps you cope, but just you need to find a time to not talk about it anymore, and heal and move on. And, you know, especially with this reaching out to other people, and this time to go kind of reinforces that, and reinforces this about some of your advice is to really just get out there, you know, find that emotional balance, you know, release that baggage. There's light at the end of the tunnel, you know, especially about making the most of your day. Just realizing things that you have, and kind of like the contacts you have. If you need something, maybe you feel like you don't have those contacts, but you really do, and you should really utilize them. And be a little more active and adventurous, you know. Nothing will make you forget about whatever's going on here than to, you know, get yourself out there, something nice, you know. Kind of like that feeling when people go on vacation, you know, you're just kind of completely away. Maybe that's kind of what that's saying too, is if possible. I understand it's hard at this time to, you know, oh, and there's this thing I see on Facebook all the time, that you can't heal or get better if you're in the same place that made you sick. I really like that. I kind of feel that right now. So, and that could be a mental space too, mental place, a place in your mind. You're not going to heal if you keep living there. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that. Hopefully when I got cut off, I didn't forget something, because that was, my memory's never been full. So I'll have to go through and fix that. So if that resonated with you, let me know. If it didn't, let me know. Let me know whatever you want. But hopefully you got a good message for today, and hopefully you have a great day. So take care, and thanks for watching.